Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. He conquers the markets, he turns water into wine. His timing flows where chaos turns divine. Cut sharp enough to time the sign. Yeah, this man's no common trader. He commands the market's numbers. We call him Chef Bailey. The market bends beneath his flame. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. Markets move, they twist and swing. Every tick can burn or bring. Ryan keeps calm, he trusts his thing. The charts tell him everything. But when T1 makes ding, 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 the futures spread their hidden wing. And he is ready for anything, with Vic still looking like a restless king. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by everybody.
Ryan once said,
trading is like going to war in a sense, right? So you don't go to war without a plan.
this is why Ryan built a proven trading plan, and it's already transforming lives. These reviews from real members say it all, directly from Trustpilot, where our members give 5-star reviews about the Substack, course, and community. Don't trade without a plan. Subscribe to Substack now. Conquer the markets.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Ryan Bailey. I'm your host for the S&P Edge post-market breakdown. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you guys. So we had another crazy volatile day in the ES land today, and it was a killer day for us in the Discord room. If you are Substack subscribers, get your ass in there. That's where it's cracking. It's going down. So we are all over this stuff. If you are not following me currently, let's get into that right now. If you're not following me currently, please follow me across all socials, YouTube, X, Substack, and TradingView. Ryan Bailey Edge across all of them. I got some new indicators out, and I'll be releasing some more this weekend that are exclusively for Substack holders. And I've got some ones on there that anybody can grab, so just go ahead and get them. You guys, I really like them. I've got some intraday levels on there that mark all the previous days, high, lows, opens, closes, IBs, opening ranges, all that. It's all good stuff. So enjoy those. Those are there for the taking. Part of just trying to help out. This is a tough profession, and anything I can do to help you guys make it easier. This is stuff I've learned over the years. So hopefully you enjoy that. That's what's up. Just to let you guys know, in this post, if you're on YouTube or if you're on X, you'll see in the link below, there is a link. If you've never signed up for the trade plans before, you can get 30 days free to the trade plans. I highly recommend that you do so. These things they're on point, both for the S&P, and we do some stocks, crypto, all that good stuff. If I see a setup, my Substack community is usually the first to know. I do a whole write-up on it, and we've got some good ones to talk about. So probably this weekend, I'm going to go over our greatest hits because there's been a lot, and I'd like to cover those. And then also, by the time this is over here, we're going to talk some weed stocks because I've been on that for a while and finally took some profits today. And so we're going to cover that a little bit as well. So before we do so, obviously, we're going to talk about the ES. And the ES was crazy volatile today. It was a great day. We finally got some really nice moves back and forth. And so let's just get right into it. Let's just talk about it. So as usual, we're going to start with the trade plan because that's my thing. That's what I do, right? This is how I understand, interpret the market every day, and I share my plan with you guys. And as you know, yesterday we broke our volatility level and we went into negative gamma. That actually slid us super hard underneath 68.40. We just dumped yesterday. Then we came down into our big significant spot that I was looking to buy. But of course they played in the overnight, and then we jettied up today. We were up, 80 some points. But what was interesting is there was a lot of things that went into this, and we're going to get to that right now. So as you can see, we had the 68.13 resistance hurdle. This was the big boy. Okay. This is what we needed to get above or below to kind of keep things cooking. Now that we've rolled over contracts, the levels have shifted slightly as the market structure has shifted slightly. And so, things are different now, right? So they're close, but they're slightly different. So like I said, last night we came down and played the 74 daily. I was definitely interested in that buy. However, just be known that as long as we're in negative gamma territory, we need to be prepared for volatility. Well, I think we saw that today. The market was awesome in balance, but we had a hell of a squeeze this morning. Then we had a nice smack, which led to just an insane drop. And then they bought it right back up off of a level that is mentioned in this trade plan. It's actually right in here. If you can notice what it is yourself, this will make things easier. So right now, when I was at this writing, we were sitting at the 68.0550 daily. However, the 1350 is our true current leg to the highs that we lost this week. This is our hurdle for the day. This was a big boy, and it will continue to be big. So keep your eyes on this level. So this was a make it. So basically down below was the thick, massive area that it was a make it or break it for me, which I think we could possibly revisit that again. But more importantly, and here's what's going to really come into play as we're starting to talk. We lost yesterday on the 4-hour and the daily time frame on the March contract. And so my lean was slightly to the downside. It still is. And so I know you're probably thinking, guys, Ryan, we were up like 80 points. Of course. And I didn't mean that we couldn't play both directions. I just mean until we can gain some sort of support, that I have to assume that we're going to be able to traverse both ways, right? So money can be made both ways, which it certainly was today. So just to get it right into it, I'll show you. So this was in the morning. This is the picture that I put out with the trade plan. This is my 1-hour chart. I have it all charted up for everybody, and I have everything labeled so that they can see. And obviously right here, we had a big above below arrow above the 1350, and of course a down arrow below it, as this is our main pivot. They could take us up into the 23.50 4-hour, and then of course the 68.34 daily, all the way up into our 57 up here. And that we ended up actually coming all the way up into the yesterday's highs and wicked this area. So it was quite a beautiful squeeze that we had once we popped this area, right? So the actionable setup was, this is the major area to push above. And we had red tag news this morning that spawned a lot of this push, which was obviously helpful. But again, is it sustainable? Well, I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what happened once we popped the 1350. There you go. So there it was. There's our big old line in the sand, the 1350, right? That's the hurdle. This is our major area to push above. And as you can see, this is a 30-minute chart. Literally, the moment they got above it, it was just nonstop up. Looks like we went up about 60, 70 points from that point, which was a beautiful call. Now, we actually had, this was all overhead resistance on the way up, but as we started to get above it and close above it, we could potentially use it for support at that point. And I was looking for the picture. Sorry, I ran out of time. We actually had, and I'll go ahead and show you in this right here. Was it here? Let me see. Long story short, this 68.23, this was former resistance that turned into support. Once we got above this, we actually pulled back and played the 23, which took us all the way up. It was really nice. And just remember, guys, and this is something that's like, basic 101. What is formally support becomes resistance when you move below, and the same for resistance, right? If it's resistance and you go above and you close, more than likely it will become support. And that is the exact case that we had with our 23 4-hour. I could have swore I had a better picture of that, but that's okay. That's no big deal. So we started out the day. This is my VIX analysis. This is how I give everybody in the morning. Same thing. Chart everything out, the levels that we're looking at, and obviously the above below potential reaction spots here, correct? So as usual, and this has been the case for some time, we have been looking at this 27 or 17, 21, 28 spot for, I don't know, since the beginning of December. So a couple weeks now. And again, we started the day elevated. We were actually above the 1721 spot. And so obviously I'm letting everybody know, hey, listen, this is our main pivot. This is what's really important for more above or below, right? So it's bearish for the ES. If we push above this, we could go into 1860 or 1952, but it's bullish for the ES if we push below this, and it could send the VIX down. Okay. I think that was pretty self-explanatory today. The moment that we opened up right here, we basically gapped down, back tested our 28, and basically just flushed for the rest of the day. It came all the way down, and actually this was the catalyst for our huge move up in the morning. And then they came down here and they filled this RTH gap fill. And what do? They popped all the way back up and they played the 1728 again. Perfect. I mean, I watch VIX like a hawk. I have VIX and SPX close together, and I make sure that I'm watching these things in confluence all the time. Okay. So I think that was just beautiful. I wanted to point that out to you guys. This kind of gives you a little help in understanding how you can use this VIX in correlation with the trade plans for your help. Okay. So I have some other things here too. Check this out. So this was just to show you. There you go. So when we open the day, right, we open the day on SPX well above our 6760 pivot. And if you guys recall in the stream yesterday, when we closed down here, I said, man, this is the spot. This has got to hold. If it doesn't hold, they're in big trouble. Well, as you know, we gapped way up. We came right into this daily here at this 6796. You can see it. This is the side where I'm talking to the guys in the Discord room, guys and girls, excuse me. And, we played the 6796 to the tick. Came down really nice. Obviously, at this point, we got back underneath the open and the daily here, so I started to get short. I was able to pull 14 points out of this nice little SPX daily. Now, it wasn't a normal ES level, but I couldn't resist. I waited a long time. As you can see, I waited for this to get well below the open before I got short. Just because, actually, this is the opening range, this blue box. I waited for it to get below all that just as a confirmation, because I don't really play too much stuff out of process. When I say out of process, I mean the ES has the level or it doesn't, right? And so since this was SPX playing, I really had to let it prove itself before that happened, which was super cool. And again, this was all laid out in the trade plan in the morning. For those of you guys who get the trade plans, you know that in the morning, I always lay these out, and we talk about SPX quite a bit. But what I do is, because I have a lot of SPX traders in here, even though that I try to focus on, ES a lot, because I use it as such a guide. I do have SPX, mapped out. As you can see, the 6760 was above below, and here's the 6796. So definitely have this stuff laid out for everybody. All you have to do is pay attention. It's easy stuff. So that was awesome. Loved that. So at the end of so obviously we pushed up super hard today, right? So that was pretty evident. We talked about that. Let's just go ahead and see if I can find this hurdle 2. Here we go. 67 short. So check this out. So this is a couple different, this is my tick chart in the back. I took a picture. I was like, wow, this thing's really cruising down, right? It was kind of interesting because in the chat, I'm like, hey, look at that. They poked the high. The whole time I'm like, man, they're really trying to get yesterday's highs up here, which they were struggling to get. They came up, they played into the same tick, they come down, the whole 9 yards. They finally wicked it by 3 ticks and then got a hit. And as you can see, I'm like, oh, look, they poked the day, they finally got it and rejected from the 72 daily. Nice rejection there, right? And at the whole time we're looking at this, we have this big 4 hour here at 67, 68, 67, right? And I'm like, getting a little something from the 4 hour. If this comes down, I have nothing to buy for some time. Now, keep in mind, this whole time that we're pushing up, I'm telling everybody, hey, be careful buying because we haven't gained anything. Obviously, I'm looking like a clown at the open because, we're just rushing up like crazy. But I knew in the back of my mind and in the process, we had not gained on the 4 hour. We had not gained on the daily. The only thing that we haven't lost on is the weekly. Oh, and we haven't gained on the 1 hour. So we are down on all time frames. So at this point, I'm like, guys, listen, be super careful buying, And a lot of times you guys have to understand how these, I want to call it a bear market squeeze, but just a squeeze in general. They are vicious. And you do not stand in front of these things until after it started to top out. And that is exactly what we had here. And this ended up making a beautiful short, which I actually ended up getting on actually lower and into the 34. And I took it all the way to the current lows. And I know that's like way, way down there. But at that point, I couldn't resist. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, boy, I don't know if this is actually, this could actually make new lows. And we're going to talk about that here today, too, because I am not so certain we're done coming down. And we'll get into that shortly. So that was great. Now, we've talked about 1350. We talked about the level that we needed to get above, right? We shot back above it. But on the way down, guess what? I'm telling everybody, as talked about in the plan, and this is directly from our Discord, right? As talked about in the plan, 1350 is our major upside pivot. So no surprise it's playing. And it certainly did. It played 1350, took us all the way back up, only to get shorted again, because once again, we still haven't gained anything, which was, for me, I took one small long today, and the rest of the time I was sniffing for shorts, just because I've seen these kind of things play out before, and they generally don't play out in the bull's favor. If you haven't gained support, then there's only one thing we can do, which is continue to move lower. So fantastic stuff from the trade plan today. We had a really, really nice day. A lot of people made a lot of money in the Discord room. And actually, let's just pull over and see what everybody's doing. I don't know if everybody posted in here, but I always like to see what the team's up to. 1 second. This damn nightlight turned on again. My computer, I swear, it thinks I want to go to bed already. All right, so let's see what the team did today. Oh, let's see. Scoreboard's lit up. There we go. Let's see. Wow, these guys. So that's yesterday. There's last night. She's put up 5 Gs last night. He was buying the lows buying the lows last night. Some of these guys trade all night. Here's my boy Unmonitored. He's one of my newer course holders. He bought the course about, I don't know, he's got to be about 4 or 5 months into it now. He is pretty much putting up standard profits all the time, $2,600 a day. Super proud of him. He did really good. Here's my little profit for the day. I only took 2 trades a day, 1 long, 1 short. Only traded 1 car, $1,000. Cool. Little SCO here did almost $500. Zug, once again, consistent as usual. Also did $600, which was great. And there were some other guys in the room. I know that this guy, TML, he didn't post the stuff in there. But look at this guy. This guy, he trades at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's up with his baby. Check this guy. Let me see if I can find this guy. That was this morning. I don't know where he's at. Where was it at? Anyways, he was up 3 Gs this morning on platinum before we even got to trading. It was crazy. Here you can see he's up $1,000 just on this. Unbelievable. This guy took that platinum trade plan that I put out, and he has just been milking it to absolute death, which is awesome. So I salute him for that. He grabbed that plan with both hands and really just took off with it. So congratulations to him. So that's what I got right now for the ES. Now let's go ahead and pull this 4-hour down, guys. I want to show you what's cooking over here. And just to let you know, my chart, and this is just the 4-hour chart, so I've kept it really basic here. But we have been sitting in an area. I mean, I know we just rolled over, but it doesn't matter. This contract has been sitting in the same spot for 3 weeks. We just have so much bar-to-bar overlap that I've got so many freaking lines on my chart. I am sick of it, because I'm trying to only use the ones that are important. But Jesus, I mean, I have to pull some certain structure from the left, and it gets messy. So what I'm going to show you right now, like I said, is the 4-hour. Now check this out. So here was the deal. This was technically our move to the high, and this was a rollover. So let's just call it this one right here. We basically lost on the 4-hour time frame. Let's just call it yesterday. Okay, we popped up, we tried to gain, we immediately lost, we closed again. Okay, and so this was a huge loss, and it was also a loss on the daily. Now we know that we have some serious shit down here that they actually front ran last night, which leads me to believe that we could potentially come lower. Why? Well, as you can see, we popped up. This is the 4-hour because it's the cleanest chart that I have here. Came into our nice little call wall here, played our 4-hour, and we fell back down, right? So right now we still have not gained on support. And if you can't gain support, you have to come lower and find new buyers. So I'm not saying that this is going to come down, but it sure, based on my process, it certainly looks that way. So we will see what happens in the morning. Right now, I was fishing for shorts. We actually played this 47 at the end of the day, which took us all the way down. I'll show you actually on the 1 hour, maybe. Let's see. I'll just show you on the 30-minute. We played our 47 here. They poked through it by 1.5, came down. But as you can see, even on the 30-minute, they're making lower highs. We're continuing to come down, but we're holding our 1350. So we still have to deal with 05. And ultimately, we have a daily level that was now made at 94. But again, the daily didn't gain. So what I would really like to see happen, guys, is a new low, a sweep of this low down here, and play this area that I've been waiting on for some time, right? If we could get down here into the 65, 61, reclaim yesterday's low, right? And just call it the 74 daily. This thing could squeeze to all but Jesus. Okay, so I'm not giving up on this guy yet, but I will tell you this. Underneath the 61, it gets very, very ugly, very fast. And so we really want to see this come down here, sweep these lows, and go back up. But based on the higher time frame right now, there is a possible chance that we continue to come lower. So it will be very interesting to see where we open in the morning. As you guys know, I trade the cash session, so I try not to pay too much attention to the overnight. I turn this off. I got a family. My wife and kids are on me when I come 6 o'clock. I'm not allowed to look at the charts anymore. Not really. So, because trading takes hours. So some of the guys in my room, they are printing money at Globex. They trade it like it's NFP. I don't get it, but I don't get the opportunity. I sit here all day, and so that's my time. So hopefully tomorrow we can come down here and sweep these lows and go. And if not, maybe we can make another leg and have a push up. But for right now, we're looking a little weak sauce. All right. So that's enough for the ES. Let's go ahead and take a look at wheat stocks, guys. We had a big deal today. So I have been talking about wheat stocks. I did a write-up on this. We were long from down here at $3 for MSOS. They came right into our major level. And for those of you guys know, I was looking to piece some off actually at $7.50. And then ultimately $9.25 and higher. That did not happen, unfortunately. So I will tell you guys what happened today. So we were supposed to have Trump do an executive order today for the reclassification of cannabis to take it down from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, basically loosening the rules. He did not do that today. It was supposed to happen this week. They were supposed to happen yesterday. Then he pushed it off until today. And then today, apparently, the only executive order thing he had today had something to do with, transgender surgery affirmations and something. I don't know. Anyways, all I know is it didn't have anything to do with what we wanted to have it to do with, which was a big disappointment for me because I had expected this to really blast off. Now, just to kind of let you guys know what was cooking here, and as usual, I let everybody know what I'm doing in the room and also right here. So this was at 11:52 a.m. We had supposedly the executive order was at 1:30. And I am a firm believer in buying the rumor, selling the news. So my whole intention, and I've told you guys this time and time again, when I was on this stream, I wanted to piece out at least 50% of my position before we got to the announcement on the executive order, because it is a buy the rumor, sell the news event. I wanted to be out before the news event. And so at 11:52, I was watching this Moss because this was my largest position. And we had sat here for 2 days. Basically, we tried to pop up. We couldn't make a new high. And I'm looking at this thing like, man, what the fuck is going on here? I said, you know what? I was a dick for a tick. I basically missed my first reduction of 50% by like 10 cents. I said, I'm just going to take 50% here across the board, across all my trades. And I let everybody know in the room. I let everybody know on Twitter. And lo and behold, was that not one of the best decisions that I've made in a long time? As a matter of fact, I sold 50% of my position here. And then once we got below our significant monthly at 53, I actually closed this position today. I am completely flat on this. I took 100% profit on 50% up here. and took another 60% profit on the remainder here. So not a bad trade there as well. CGC, same thing. I actually was the exact same process. I went across the board and did this with all of them. As you guys, I told you yesterday I was looking to take profits at 250 above this wick. Look at that. They played it to the tick. They couldn't even get up higher than that wick, which is a severe disappointment. And I figured we were kind of basing out up here. And so I took 50% off here. And then, of course, once we broke below this monthly, I just decided to flatten the trade. At this point, this was a great trade. And, if we come lower, I'll buy it again. So, and the same thing applied for Tilray. As you guys know, we put this call out to buy this at $8. I was actually looking at $17 for my first piece off. They couldn't get it. I sold 50% at $15. And then I ended up getting flat on the rest of this trade at $12.50, which I might regret. I seriously considered holding this just because my entry was so good. But, who knows? Maybe they'll come down here and fill this gap and I'll get another chance to re-up. So that is how the weed stock went. It's unfortunate that Trump didn't give us what we wanted. I know that he's been getting a lot of heat over this shit. I don't know if you guys have been looking online, but, you would have thought cannabis was, some sort of hardcore drug that people are like, it's just crazy what people are saying it causes psychosis. Man, I've been smoking weed 25 years. I don't want to hear that shit. So, it's like this is one industry that needs some help. And really the legislation on this stuff is rough. And for those of you guys who know me, I want, weed fucked my world up, So I would love, I did some time over that shit. So I would love to see the rules with cannabis, reclassified and give some people some love there because the penalties are way too harsh. It's not heroin, but that's how they have it classified. So that whole sector needs some help. And honestly, cannabis itself could use a good reclassification. So one of these days, I'll tell you guys about my experience. It was quite interesting. So that is it for the day, guys. We have talked about ES and the trade plan, how amazing it was. We've talked about some SPX and VIX, and now I've talked to you about the weed trades. And it's unfortunate that Trump didn't work his magic for us today. And maybe I got out of this stuff a little early. You never know. I could have. I absolutely could have, especially this CGC or whatever. But, these things look like they're hurting to me, especially Moss. This might give us another chance to come down here and buy the 401, which I would buy again. And so if it does, I will reload and just kind of go from there and keep you guys posted. So I hope you guys had an excellent day today. As you can see, we always have good fortune in the Discord room, or at least the probabilities are in our favor. So if you guys are Substack subscribers, hit me up. I'll get you in the Discord room. You're going to love it in there. If you are not a subscriber, click on the link below. You'll see that 30 days free in the trade plans. It's going to take you to a landing page. Put in your email. I'll get you squared away. Okay. So that's what's up. And that's it. So I will see you guys same time, same channel for tomorrow. See how everything goes. Tomorrow's Friday, right? We're coming into the end of the week, into the month. It's bound to be an interesting day. So, I believe it's Zopex tomorrow too. I think I saw somebody talking about that in the room. Let me see here. Look at this. This is funny. Like my boy Pipes. It's good to have friends. I was at work and I was dropping this shit on my phone while I was lunch. Look, 12:02. Executive signings at 1:30. I hope to have my teas before then. I wanted to buy the rumor and sell the news. My man, Pipes. My man, dude. Yep, my man. That's my dude. So anyways, fantastic day today. Yeah, such a sweet trade. Yeah, all these guys made crazy money. Thank you so much to TML. I appreciate it. You're always an amazing individual. So you're a great trader too. So thank you so much. And I feel like anybody who is in this room is blessed to be with this team. We have a super, super strong team of guys in here. Everybody is super supportive. We help each other and we make sure that everybody's on the right side. So thank you guys so much. And we'll look for our next 100% banger, huh? So have a fantastic night. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same channel, and see you in the morning, 8:30 for the trade plans. You guys be good. Cheers. Actually, you know what? I forgot. There is no breakdown tomorrow. Just the trade plan. I forgot to get the day off. So deuces. Be good. Cheers.